How's everybody doing?
Hey, Coach. Thanks for joining us. We will jump right in here with Aaron Beard. Go ahead.
Hey, Jay, how much Mac mentioned, things like containing quarterbacks that are mobile, getting better pressure. Kind of how did you evaluate the defense during the off week, and how do you sort of make tweaks without doing too much that takes the guys out of what they know and are comfortable with?
Yeah, so I think obviously we had some issues with some pass rush game, lane integrity kind of stuff, So I think the main thing we do is just look at it and say we got to clean this up and try to make it a little bit user friendly at times, and give our kids a chance to rush off the edge a little better. I think against Miami, some of them were some of the formations we were getting were kind of locking us into a certain pressure. So I got to do a better job of getting that one pressure a little bit better. But yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it honestly is just execution.
Okay, let's go over to CL Brown.
Hey, Jay, I feel like we may have talked about this before, but with Cedric Gray, can you kind of pinpoint when he turned the corner and when he went from, he's just going to be on a 2-deep roster to, okay, this guy can really help us. We're moving him into the starting lineup.
I think in spring football, we were playing Cedric at both inside linebacker positions, which is hard, because it's, the same call can mean a different responsibility to one side and a different responsibility to the other. And so a lot of times, kids have a hard time doing both. And I think during spring football, I just kept saying like how impressed I was that he was able to do it, and not only do it with backup reps, right? He's not getting, the starters get more reps. So I think that was impressive. And then I think when we got into the season, started the season in the fall camp, it was Eugene and Gimmel, and Seth was kind of the third guy in, and he just kept playing and kept making plays. And I do think he's got more, he brings a little bit more in the pass game. He's a longer kid. He's a really good cover guy, who we feel pretty good matching up on tight ends and running backs. And then also, I think he's got a real knack for being a pass rusher. When we signed him out of high school on defense, all they do is rush off the edge, and that was kind of one of the reasons we took him. So, I'd say probably, once summer football started, we kind of got a feel he was going to help us more and more. And then I think he just keeps playing. So I'm excited about him.
And when you went back over the Miami game on film, what stood out to you about his performance from that?
I think when you're a good football player, you find the ball, right? So, he found the ball. And I felt like he did a really good job in the run game when we asked him to get involved in the run. If you look at what we asked Cedric Gray to do against Miami, he's playing man on a slot receiver. Next play, he's defending the A gap. That not many kids had that wide a skill set. So, I think he's going to just continue to be a good player for a long time, hopefully.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Luciano, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, I hope you're doing well, and thank you for your time this morning. Only Cincinnati was able to keep Notre Dame under 27 points. Are you expecting this game to be a shootout, or is there something that you can learn from that Cincinnati game in order to prevent it?
Well, I'm not counting on it being a shootout, so that wouldn't be very wise of me. But I certainly think Cincinnati defended them well. I think there's been some times in every game where people have defended them well. I think it's, they do a really good job of adjusting. They have a really veteran, smart team. And so I think you've got to constantly be able to, blend your coverages, blend your pressures, have a plan for how they counter you. A lot of respect for Coach Kelly and his staff. So I think that'll be the key, is our ability to counter punch and punch as they adjust to what we're doing.
Greg Barnes, go ahead.
Hey, Jay. Phil was just talking about how kind of the hope is the unit to get better with each passing week as the season goes along. So I was just curious, from your perspective, do you feel like the defense has gotten better, on a positive trajectory here this season?
I do. I don't know if it's been like a clear, like you want your stocks to do, Greg. You know what I mean? But I do think we've improved. I do think we've gotten better. There have been some halves and some quarters and some some situations where we haven't played well. We've addressed them. We've had hard conversations with our kids and with us and with me, about what I can do better, what our coaches can do better. And I think our kids have responded. So I felt like, against Miami, we battled. We certainly didn't play perfect, but I thought we battled it, and never once did I feel like we flinched at all. And so I think that's, that I wanted to see that as much as anything from Miami. And so now I think it becomes a matter of, okay, now let's continue to play really hard. Let's continue to be physical. Now let's execute a lot better.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Ross Martin.
Hey, Coach Bateman. What has surprised you kind of halfway through the season about your defense, good or bad, or maybe one of each that you didn't really realize it would happen coming into the season?
I thought we'd be a little more consistent, Ross. I thought we would. I thought some of the mistakes that we made a year ago, we had ironed out, and we made some of those. So some of it we changed with personnel. Some of it is more like, hey, look, we're better at this. Let's play this more. So I think that's part of it too. And then, obviously the corner situation hasn't been ideal with Storm being injured, but I thought we'd be a little bit better at corner. I thought we'd be a little bit further ahead at corner. But on a positive note, I think we got a lot of sophomores that are playing really well at a really high level that I think are going to continue to be really good players, and I think have really made it step forward. And I think most players really improve the most from their first year to their second year. And so I think when you see the improvement of Kamen Rucker and Jaquarius Conley and Tony Grimes and Miles Murphy and Cedric Gray, and I'm sure I'm forgetting some guys, like Des Evans, you see how much those guys improve. You feel like you're on the right path, and now it becomes a matter of execution and consistency, which has been kind of our Achilles heel.
Do you think you've seen like the advantage of having the depth of the defensive line? Obviously, it was a big storyline coming into this season. I mean, have you seen the impact of having more players, or do you think you've kind of used them the way you'd expect at this point? Because oftentimes we speak about depth, but sometimes it's the best players who play. And I don't know if you've.
No, I think the D-line depth has made a huge. We've obviously getting ready for Notre Dame the last week, and we're watching last year's game, and Tamon's in there playing 3 technique. And you're like, gosh, we're a lot better when Miles Murphy's playing 3 technique and Kevin Hester's playing more, and guys like that moving forward. So yeah, I think the D line and I think the youth of the D line room is encouraging, right? We're gonna have those guys for a while. So I think for sure that's been a positive.
All right, let's close up today with Andrew Jones.
Hey, Coach, going back to what Greg was asking about a little bit, the flip side of the rough stretches that the defense has had when it has gone well, the first half at Georgia Tech, the first half against Miami, stretches against Florida State and some other games, what is a constant that you're getting from the unit when it is going at a high level like it has in those stretches?
That's a great question, Andrew. So I think when we have played well, we have communicated and handled things and played fundamental football like we're capable of. And I feel like when we have had bad stretches, it's been communication problems, it's been not anticipating things, and it's been not playing fundamental football very well. And so I think it's really simple, right? When you take on blocks the right way and you tackle the right way, you play better defense. And I think it's pretty easy for them to watch it and see. And so I think we just got to do better and get it and demand more consistency in the fundamentals of playing defensive football.
What is the challenge in dealing with that element, the dramatic difference between when it's going well and when it's not, and getting them to understand how to connect on the positive side there?
Everything we do every day is a challenge, right? It's hard to play football, so I think playing defensive football is hard, right? So like it's demanding and encouraging and showing them that when they do it right, how successful they can be. So, you don't throw your hands up and say, woe is me, you just go play, right? And so that's the effort we're looking for. And the guys know it. They know when it's not going well, what the problems are. So then it becomes, all right, let's settle down and fix it.
Cool. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate you joining us for a few minutes today.
Yep. Thanks.